Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. It's been a minute since I've gone live on Facebook. I've been playing catch up since I got back from my trip. Weather's been cold as hell, and now the weather's back to normal, so I'm gonna say it's all good. I'm driving, so I will not be looking directly into the camera. It's been a minute since I've just gotten online and felt like ranting, was trying to get my rant on, all that good stuff, but here's my rant for the day. On my way to the store, so multitasking here, because of course, this weekend's flying by, Thanksgiving is here, so, no matter what you're doing for Thanksgiving, get something good to eat. I don't care if you're cooking or somebody else is cooking, if you got to go out and buy the food, DoorDash it, whatever the case may be, just give thanks that you're still breathing. That's, when people talk about Thanksgiving, I'm just like, man, just give thanks for still breathing. Let's keep it simple. That's a nice looking dog. I'm like, lady, I'm not looking at you, I'm looking at your dog. But anyways, today's rant is, we're talking about losses here. And that's another one of my favorite words, losses. Now, why is losses one of my favorite words? Well, very simple. It's one of my favorite words because no matter who you are in this life, you're going to have wins and lose. It's like the American society of capitalism. It's a system of winners and losers. Okay. Because somebody has to be at the top, somebody has to be in the middle, and somebody has to be at the bottom. Usually the people that are at the top are considered the winners. Depending on the circumstances, the people in the middle could be considered a winner or a loser, depending on the circumstances, because everything is circumstantial in life. And then, what the hell is this fool doing? I'm driving somebody. He's making U-turns for the sake of making U-turns. Anyways, I'm just like, yeah, fool, I got the right of way. But anyways, it's like, so everything's circumstantial. And then certain people that are at the bottom, they could be considered a loser, but in certain situations, during the pandemic, a lot of people were considered the winners that were at the bottom, the ones who were getting that $800 a week. A lot of people were making more money during the pandemic lockdown. They were making more money sitting at home than they was at their own jobs. So, like I said, a lot of the smart people, between that and getting them stimulus checks, and, not being able to go anywhere, so that all they could do was really shop online, depending on the situation, a lot of those people hopefully became, turned into winners if they're smart enough to, save their money, invest their money into different investment vehicles and things of that nature. So, like I said, it's all circumstantial. I know the sun's blocking me, but it is what it is. It's actually a nice sunny day to be November in Virginia. So, that's why I see a lot of people out and about and whatnot, but the game is on. So most people are either at home or they're at a bar watching the game. So, so that's that situation. But anyways, trying to not get in a car accident because people can't drive to save their lives. Anyways, I digress. But you got to take the quickest with the straights. Life is wins and losses. And the main reason why I talk about that, a great example, the Dallas Cowboys have been losing upon losing. Okay, they've had probably one of the worst seasons ever right now. And that's just a fact. They've had one of the worst seasons ever. And right away, they've had one of the worst seasons ever. But you still got to bear in mind that they're still making, the players as a whole are still making millions of dollars. The owner of the Dallas Cowboys is still he's making so much passive income from other avenues, that he could care less if his team wins or loses at this point. Because for him, he's still a win is a win. That song, All I Do Is Win, 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 no matter what, is playing on his playlist 24/7 because he's making multiple streams of income. And this is a person who's been a part of creating generational wealth for a long time, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. So even when it looks like that person's losing, they're winning. Elon Musk, whether you love him or hate him, everybody wants to make a big deal about him being buddy-buddy with Donald Trump. Who cares? He's a billionaire now. He'll be a billionaire tomorrow. He'll be a billionaire when he dies. But say if Kamala Harris would have won the election, Elon Musk still would have been winning. He's like, okay, well, I'm gonna get cool with her because the main way he became a billionaire is through government contracts and government funding. That's why we say it's like the American voters are probably some of the stupidest people on the planet on both sides of the aisle. And yes, I said it because I always say, look, if you're not talking in a capitalist society, if you're not talking access to capital or how I'm going to increase my income and increase my value, then you basically wasted my freaking time. But that's just me, okay? Because the beautiful thing about the United States of America, I always reference the guy who owns the mechanic shop that I take my cars to. He's a legal resident. He's never voted in any election, but he is a millionaire now. He owns 3 shops because his family operates like a corporation. And he says, I never understand how Americans get so frustrated over politics when you live in a free country compared to other countries around the nation, to where as long as your money's right and your money's tight, you can make some moves. And I was like, I have to agree. He's like, man, I don't cast votes. I write checks to my local legislatures. They know who I am because I'm a big contributor. He said, so my checks have more power than your votes. I was like, I have to agree. That's what they call lobbyists, which they'll never get rid of, no matter who's in the White House, governor's house, or mayor's house, because you need funding for everything. And I'm not getting political. I'm just using these as a disclaimer. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care who you didn't vote for. I don't do politics. I do economics. Okay? I always say you got to make money moves and live broke like a fool. So if Howdy Doody or Curious George is sitting in the White House or the governor's house, you still got to pay your rent and pay your mortgage, pay your bills. These are discussions that the idiots that Fox News and CNN and MSNBC don't discuss, because every other talking point they want to talk about is what I like to call a major distraction. Hell, most things in life are a distraction. Social media, that's why I get a lot of times when people take a break from social media, sports, any form of entertainment can become a distraction. Because if you're I always say I was always at my best when I was focused on things that made me better from a health perspective, from an individualistic perspective. The light is green, people. Are we going to drive today or tomorrow? Lord have mercy. I thought the drivers in LA would that. These freaking DMV drivers are the worst. But yeah, man, so that's just how I look at it at the end of the day. That's exactly how I look at it at the end of the day. There's and the main reason is I look at it like this. Take your losses as a lesson learned. Okay? Kamala Harris is going to be good financially because because of the strategic investments that she's made and connections that she's made throughout Washington, the world, and California. If Trump would have lost, the same thing. Elon Musk backed Trump, but if Trump would have lost, Elon Musk is still going to make money moves regardless of the situation. Mark Cuban talked trash about Donald Trump and still made money moves during the previous Trump administration and this administration because of the mindset and the connections that they have. They think outside of the box. So they take the losses and they turn them into wins. Okay? Eventually, the Dallas Cowboys are going to turn the losses that they have into wins. It's not going to be this season, but it might be next season. But either way, they're still going to be able to make money moves. I talk about Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. Mike Tyson lost, he still made millions of dollars. If Jake Paul would have lost, he still would have made millions of dollars. This fight was a cash cow for them, and it was great entertainment for all of us. So at the end of the day, it was a win-win situation. That's how I look at it. Okay? And you got to take any loss you have in this life, from a family, friends, job, business, whatever the case may be. Take it as a lesson learned and turn it into a win. Have the mindset to turn it into a win. Okay? Because unfortunately our minds were taught that if we failed at something, it's 100% our fault, and there's nothing we can learn from the situation. And that is total BS. We can learn from every situation, every person I've ever had an encounter with, I've learned. Whether it's a good lesson or a bad lesson, the lessons have been learned. Okay? And heck, to be honest with you, Mike Tyson might do another fight again so he can make more money. Jake Paul might fight another retired boxer so that he can make more money, because it's all about the hype built into it. Another great example. So Vanilla Ice, and I bring celebrities up because that's what most people know. Vanilla Ice is known as the real estate guy. He's had the hit song Ice Ice Baby, but now he's known as the real estate investor. He flips homes. He buys old mansions and flips them, specifically in Florida. For years, he was fighting in boxing competitions and whatnot. Other celebrities. He made a lot of money doing that. He really wanted to, because I think at the time, and this was like maybe 10, 15 years ago, he really wanted to have a boxing competition with Eminem. And Eminem said, no, I don't want to do it. But he knew that the amount of money that they would have made off of that fighting competition would have been insane. Vanilla Ice, Eminem, two white rappers, different genres, fighting in a boxing ring. Friendly, boxing competition. They'd have more headgear, things of that nature, because they're not professional fighters. And it would have been a great match. And heck, I even would have watched it because I'm not really a sports guy. But hell, I would have watched it. Okay. But the moral of the story is, whoever would have won or lost that fight, they both would have came out victorious because of the popularity, the exposure, and the amount of money that they would have made from it. So that term, winners and losers, a loser could be a winner and a winner could be a loser. It's all how you look at it. There was a time when, there's still a small fraction, but there was a time in sports that you bowed gracefully when you won a competition, no matter if it was baseball, no matter if it was football, no matter if it was boxing, soccer, or other countries they call soccer football. Compassion, being humble. That is a thing. Okay, y'all just running red lights today. Okay, I love it. That is one thing that I can respect, is people being humble. Because when you don't humble yourself, you can see yourself in a sticky situation, no pun intended. Like you could be in a P. Diddy situation. This is a man that was on top of the world, but he screwed up in so many other ways to where he's sitting in a federal prison right now, and a lot of other people that he had under him either unfortunately passed away or doing much better than him. Great example. You look at Mace. Mace went from being a preacher, came back to being an artist. Now he has a successful podcast and a multitude of other successful businesses. Okay. Who is it? Shine. He is now a senator in the country of Belize, and he is running to become their prime minister of the country of Belize. And, he's had a lot of lessons learned. So Shine is not, Shine did 10 years for P. Diddy, but now Shine is out, and he's had a total life transformation, and he's loving every single moment of it. And I admire and respect that because, like I said, his life transformation is not only a beautiful thing, but he wants to be an inspiration to other people who grew up like he did. He came from a, quote unquote, Central American / Caribbean background. He wants to be an inspiration in that aspect, one. But then number two, he wants to be an inspiration in that aspect. But number two, he wants to continuously try to do great things in this world. And he's done, numerous amount of things in order for him to become a better person and to give back. And so the losses that he took of having to go to prison, not snitching, because during the time when that shooting happened at the nightclub, because I didn't even realize that people were actually trying to kill him and kill P. Diddy. But during that time, people, the prosecutor was offering him a deal, like, hey, if you say Diddy did it, we'll let you go. And he never snitched. But because of the hell that he went through, now he's living, he went from hell to heaven to purgatory, back to hell because of the life the way he grew up and whatnot, growing up in a 1-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn, leaving the poverty of Belize and then living in poverty in America. And if, most people will tell you, poverty in America, being impoverished in America is much better than being impoverished in quote unquote a third world country. Being on top of being a sensational rapper, and then next thing you know, a year or two later, he ends up spending 10 years in Rikers Island. So, and now he's back there living in heaven. So he's had wins and losses. His story doesn't get more American than Shine's. Wins and losses and whatnot, and going back to his home country to become, getting close to becoming a prime minister is a beautiful thing. Using his celebrity for the good, and not just to enhance and increase his profits, but to enhance and increase the visibility and economic viability of the country of Belize. More people are talking about Belize now because of Shine. And they're talking about Belize in a positive way and not just a negative connotation, because I've always heard good things and bad things about Belize, but show me a country where there isn't good and bad things. All right. So he's took the losses that he had in his life and he's turned them into wins. And this rant is basically to implore anybody, please, I beg of you, in the most humblest way, take any losses in this life and turn them into a win. Keep anybody around you, friends and family, that bring nothing but positivity your way. who bring nothing but great information your way, who bring nothing but joy your way. Because those are, I like to call, precious commodities in today's world, because most people are so fake, so self-absorbed, and so selfish to the point where I know I don't want to be around them. They suck the life out of any room they walk into. And I don't care how beautiful they are. I've been around some of the most beautiful females in the world, but they got some of the most stank attitudes on the planet. And they think that their beauty gives them the reason to have the most stank attitude and whatnot, and be so self-absorbed and selfish. And a lot of men are that way as well. They got the nice car, they got the overpriced house, they got the abs, and they think, having that mindset, especially I see it in the DMV area, having that lifestyle affords them to be the biggest jerks and douchebags on the planet. It really doesn't. But then they wonder why the wrong people are always around them, because you have the wrong personality. But you don't realize that because you look a certain way, that gives you the right to be a jerk. That gives you the right to have a funky attitude, man or female. Yet knock on wood, it doesn't. That's the wake-up call that you have to have. Like Diddy has got his wake-up call. A lot of people, whether they're successful now or not anymore, or never will be, have gotten their wake-up call, because eventually life is going to catch up with you. Karma is a mother. Life is going to catch up to you. Karma is a mother. And when you treat people bad and you do bad things in this life, it comes back to you regardless of the situation. None of us is perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't ever try to be perfect. I'm just me, and I'm the best version of me that I can be. But one thing that anybody will tell you that has ever been associated with me, they're going to tell you two things about me. Number one, I was always real. And number two, I'm always going to try to bring something positive your way. But if I stop vibing with you, it's because you're being too negative for me. If I stop vibing with you, it's because you're all about the drama. If I stop riding with you, it's because you're on a path of self-destruction and I'm not with it. If I stop vibing with you or talking to you and whatnot, it's because you're always asking me for something, because you got a lot of people who are just givers and takers, and it's always supposed to be in the middle. Life isn't as black and white as we want it to be. Life is supposed to be gray. All right, be a giver and be a taker. Take when the time is right, give when the time is right, but don't just give, and don't just take. Because either way, you're definitely going to become the loser in that situation. And hopefully it's a situation that you become your person to learn something, but you will become a loser, unfortunately, and it's not a good thing. All right, so that's my rant for the day. Whoever your team is, hopefully they win. If they lose, hopefully your team learns. But don't lose yourself over the fact that your team loses, because the only team that matters for winning is team you. Team your friends and family. That's the team that matters more. You can wear all the Dallas Cowboys, Texans, Washington Commanders, Philadelphia, whoever doesn't matter. That's your side team. You, your family, and friends, that's the main team. Let that be the ones that help you win in this life. On that note, do the great few things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. And as I always say, make money moves or you're going to live like a fool. As they say in Spanish, bienvenido a la vida. Welcome to the life, or they say, tengo un buen día. Have a great day.